Hey everybody. So it has been so long since I've done a video, mostly because, to be quite honest, editing videos for YouTube is a lot of time sitting at the computer, and my job basically transformed overnight when COVID happened, when quarantine happened, and became all computer work. And the idea of spending more time on the computer after spending all day on the computer just became like too daunting for me. And things just got so busy. So I just really haven't, I've recorded a bunch of things. So one day I'll put them together. But I just haven't edited. So I realized that it's been so long because I never even posted about, planting the garden or anything like that, which it's all fully planted now. I'm just seeing a chicken destroy my coleus potted plant, so I'm going to go yell at her. Orange, would you get out of there, girlfriend? Thank you. You've destroyed my coleus. These chickens keep me busy. So, see now, look, at least she gave me a start. So now I have a coleus. She broke this off of the main plant, but I'm going to try and salvage it and root it, get some roots to come out. And so I keep all of the coleus in this little jar of water until they get nice roots, and then I plant them somewhere else. Ladies, I have like an entourage everywhere I go. What's up? Oh, hey, please don't peck my phone. Hi, Lou. You too? Oh my God, they crack me up. Anyway, I haven't even showed the garden or what we've done. But long story short, I planted the whole garden May 1st. Because my tomato plants, I know you're supposed to, in New Jersey, where I live, you're supposed to wait till Mother's Day. And I even said that in the video, and I was like, I'm going to regret this. I did. So it was like really warm weather, and my plants were actually really just not looking good. Like, my tomato plants were struggling. They were getting a little leggy, and they just looked malnourished. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to plant these, and if I lose some, I lose some. And I did. Somewhere I have video clips of Seth out here in the pouring rain trying to cover the tomatoes and all of the frost tender plants with plastic sheets to help prevent them from dying from the frost. And I think he definitely did prevent a lot of them from dying. We had to do that, I think, 3 nights. We had 3 frosts past May 1st. And I think 1 or 2 of them were past Mother's Day even. So even if you waited till Mother's Day, which is the good rule of thumb, but I'm a rebel and I just don't listen. Even if you did, you would still be a little not so happy with the weather. This has been such a strange spring. So it's currently June 1st, and it is like, I'm actually out here in like sweatpants. It is like cool. It's like in the 60s today. It was in the 60s yesterday. But then later this week, it's going to be 88 degrees. So it really is like the true definition of spring. It's just later than normal. Like this time, normally we're, feeling the summer heat already. So, I mean, my garden, I think I'm going to just show you what we have going on here. So this is the first official garden tour of 2020 with our little patch of land we have here. All right, so first up are my kales. So I'm going to go through the cold weather crops that I had planted. I had made a video about that back in March. These are kales. There's 2 different varieties. It's dino kale, or I can't remember the real name, and then blue Scotch curled, I think. But they are so good, very tasty. We use them in our shakes and salads. When I use them for a salad, I basically just break off one of these nice big leaves, and I kind of just pull the leaf off of the rib, because they get it's a pretty thick rib there. So I'll kind of just pull the rib out just for eating salads. I'm going to show you the other cold weather crops first. We've harvested a bunch of radishes. We've also decided that we don't really like radishes. Ooh, I don't know what kind of wasp that is, but a little intense. Yeah, we decided we don't really like radishes. So I've been giving them away. And these, I believe, are all cauliflower. And I have cauliflower here and in that one. And then over here, and you can see it's already done what they call, it did not head up, and it's already done what they call bolting, and it's already formed flowers. So that means it's not going to produce a head of cauliflower. So even though it's been a cool spring, it wasn't cool enough to have successful broccoli and cauliflower. There's a chicken looking at my beet greens. The beets I'm very curious about. These beet greens are massive. So those will be really good in a saute. And if I peek down here, it's so hard with the underground stuff. They're pretty small. So I don't know if I'm going to get successful beets at all. Yeah, they're all pretty small. I also don't know if I'm going to get any carrots. So the carrot greens, huge, tall. Some of them are over a foot tall. But I don't know what it's going to look like down here. So we'll see. And then I have more kale over here. So those are all looking really good. But these are all going to basically come out. Oh, and the lettuce. The lettuce, oh my God, this stuff just keeps producing. It's been so awesome. We've made so many salads from this, like brought salads to so many get-togethers, like social distancing, COVID proof get-togethers we've had. So I also had this really crazy thing come up that I thought was spinach, and I think I might have pulled all of that, pulled all of it out. So I can't even actually show you. There's got to be some of it somewhere because it's super invasive. It's a weed, but it's actually called lamb's quarter or wild spinach, and it grew up everywhere. Like this whole patch was covered in it. And I was like, what is this? Because it looked like spinach, and it was in the part of the garden where I had planted spinach, but it was like fuzzy almost. And so I posted it on one of the groups that I'm on Facebook, and people were like, oh, that's lamb's quarter. It's an edible weed that you can actually cook with and treat like regular spinach. So I was super excited, and I left it in, but then it wound up getting some sort of bug eggs like on the bottom. I don't know if they were black aphids or something else, but it just wasn't worth it to have this free invasive edible source, because it was introducing a pest to my garden that I did not want to stay around. So I got rid of it all. But it will occasionally still pop up. And don't mind my dogs running and barking in the background. I'm trying to see if I have any left of it, but it was everywhere. It was so crazy. So then something else crazy happened. I lost a whole bunch of my plants, and the ones that survived were some of my tomatoes, but they looked like they were near death's door. So let me show you these. I am so happy that these have survived. So this guy here is, not only has he survived, but he is thriving. See how they have these little like fuzzies? You can actually, if the tomato plant falls over it, it will just like grow along the ground. So here's another one. Now this has already pest damage, so I'm hoping that this one survives and grows up a bit. Here's another one. These, I can't believe they survived that cold frost. There's like some down there that are very small, so I don't think they're really going to make it. I think they get too much shade from the way that this is set up. And then I have some sugar snap peas that they took so long to germinate that it might be too warm by the time that they actually grow up. Super cool leaves. I've never grown these before, this variety, so I'm excited about that. And then I had this crazy tomato plant inside, which I've shown before. So after losing most of my tomato plants, I took it and I planted it into the ground. I didn't even harden it off. I just transplanted it right away. Look at the stem on that guy. It's pretty large. And I also broke off. So when you have a plant like this big, you start to get these little things called suckers, and they kind of branch off of the main stem. And this was already super unruly because it was inside and I didn't really care about it. It's already got tomatoes on it. Wow, got several. It's nice. Look at all these. Well, that's exciting. Just saw that. So I took one of those suckers and I actually planted it over here in the soil because I was like desperate for having tomatoes. So those two are from indoors. They are not the healthiest. As you can see, the older leaves have signs of stress for sure, possibly disease. I don't know. But they're there. And then I have some other varieties that I had left inside. I didn't plant my whole garden when I did that. On May 1st, I had a few. Man, these sugar snap peas. I try and catch them every day, but they wind up trying to trellis up my my garden, the gardening wire. But anyway, so I didn't have all my plants out here yet. I had a few inside because I just was scared, and I'm glad I did because I wound up being able to plant those to replace the ones that died. So I also have some, those tomatoes are going to be larger tomatoes, or like medium size. And then I have some here that are also that same size. So they don't have the trellis to grow up, but I staked them. And this one got so big already, I already had to tie it. Just use an old t-shirt and cut it up. So I've got 1, 2, that guy back there is a little small, and then another guy there. I also had chamomile growing inside, and I replanted that, and it's already got some flowers, which is really cool. Excited about that. I have some squash, so some summer squash, and some yellow scalloped squash. These are onions from our pantry that like just grew shoots, and we just separated them and replanted. You know, sometimes you like let an onion go too long and it gets little green shoots. Well, we planted them, and we've got some there, and then more down here. So that's pretty cool. It's like a free, this guy died, I think, but we'll see. Maybe it'll come back. Sometimes they come back. I had another onion go like that too, and some of them are dying, but some of these are actually okay. So I'll have some more onions. These are our peppers. I waited until last week actually to put these out. I kept them in the greenhouse longer, as well as my eggplants, which I've had some bug issues on these already. But we're working on it. We've got some eggplants and some peppers. These peppers are pretty puny. I hope that they are okay with this spraying. Got a whole bunch of different varieties, so they're all growing a little bit differently. And peppers, you can grow close together. They actually like it that way, so that's good. I have some basil growing here. This is a really cool variety. It's a purple basil. And I always try and do things that are, these are marigolds like that have flowers, to try and attract my pollinators, my good pollinators, as well as keep away bad pollinators. Or I'm sorry, like bad bugs. So we've got all that. Here's another cauliflower. So that's basically the main stuff. I have another little plot over there that I planted some tomatoes and some new beans as well. And I have some strawberries. Those are starting to, so if you see these, get out of the sun here. Weird time of day with this light. Some strawberries, they flower. Let me see if I can find any flowers. Oh look, you can see in here. They flower and then they get fruit. So that's exciting. They also send off runners. So see this? I'm gonna try and figure out what to do with these runners. I've got a few. So you can actually just like stick that, if it gets a little bit longer, I can stick it in this pocket and it will continue to grow. So the strawberries are looking great. Can't wait to start harvesting some of those. In a desperate attempt, I pruned some of the suckers off the tomato and I stuck them in wet soil. And as long as you keep the soil wet, they might actually grow. So these are actually just suckers that I pulled off. So what I mean by the suckers are like one of these little tiny stems sticking out, and I just planted it in wet soil and now it's growing. And these are also some beans that are growing up as well. Oh, I also have beans over here. Forgot about this whole section over here because it's crazy. So these are some bush beans. So 1, 2, 3 of those. There's another one. This is a zucchini, I think. And then these are cucumbers. So I've got several of those I had to replant. I lost all my cucumbers except for like 2 in the frost. And I lost all of my Kajari melons and cantaloupes in the frost as well. So these are all new. I don't know why there's garbage in my my garden. And they're honestly, my Kajari melons here, they're just not growing as fast as I would hope. I'm kind of trying to start this trellis process for this guy because he just keeps flopping over. This is also another tomato that I think this is a cherry tomato. So this crazy thing happened where I had all these weeds in this part of the garden bed. Trying to see if I have any left that I can show you over here. They were all in this one area. This was one. And I'm like, what is this? It doesn't look like a normal like weed. So I posted it on, oh, here's that lamb's quarter. Let me show you. This stuff, if you let it grow, and it's like in a 4 pattern, it's called lamb's quarter or wild spinach. And it's got like, it's almost got like a powdery side to it. But that's the stuff that's like wild spinach. This stuff is actually a relative. So I replanted it all, but it's a relative of the houseplant called Wandering Jew. And it will flower these pretty cool flowers. So I'm not happy about them in my garden, but I'm not sad about them in general. So I'm just going to repot those. They repot really easily. So I had those growing up everywhere. I must have had 2 dozen of them. And then I had these everywhere, like all over this area. This was supposed to be basil and eggplant. I'm sorry, basil and beans. And I have all of these plants and I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh, these look like tomatoes and I don't know what they are. I did not plant them here. Well, I posted a picture. There's got to be 2 dozen in here. Like most of this area, except for like this one bean. This is all tomatoes. Tomatoes, 1 bean. Tomatoes. Another one over there. So I posted this to this group I follow and they're like, see if it smells like tomatoes. And I'm like, it does. I took a leaf, I smelled it. It smells like tomatoes. And it also has this characteristic stem that's like fuzzy. See how it's got this fuzzy little stem? So I'm like, oh my God, I have like 2 dozen free tomato plants. I lost probably a dozen when the frost hit. And now I have like 2 dozen free tomato plants. I have no idea how it happened. I think this is the part of the bed where I put compost in. So I'm assuming that my chickens ate some tomatoes and pooped out some seeds. And now I have, but I also mulched it. So like they grew up through some thick stuff. So very interesting. No idea what I'm going to do with them. No idea if I need to trellis them somehow or stake them. It's really just a guessing game. I feel blessed to have extra tomatoes after losing some. So I'm going to find out. I'm going to give some to my mom so she can have some little mini tomatoes. I want to try and see what varieties I have, but I literally have no idea. And I have to space them out because there's so many of them. They also are growing with this other weed that looks like it would be a tomato plant, but it's not. I don't know what that one is. So that was really interesting. I also have this whole other area over here, which has some other tomatoes. I can go take a look over there. Some more lettuce here, some mint. Got all sorts of stuff going on. We also put in a grape arbor, but we didn't plant the grape bushes that we got. I followed the directions, but they don't look very alive. So I'm not sure. I think we're going to have to get some new grapes. But that's okay. So over here, I have some more tomatoes. These are cherry tomatoes. They need to be trellised for sure. These ones were like completely dead. So I cannot believe that they actually grew. The chickens have also destroyed a few of them. But these were like nearly dead. And they came back from a stem. Literally one stem was what was left of them after the frost. I'm trying to get this guy to trellis. And then this is another bean. I'm not sure which variety. So if I look at might be a purple potted pole bean. I'm looking at the seed pod there. Hi, Felissa. Getting some ideas here. These are mums that also died, which I don't know why they died because mums are frost hardy, but they did. Another sugar snap pea. I just started planting stuff once everything died. I was like desperately planting everything. Another cherry tomato, which is growing beautifully through the trellis. So I'm just going to keep interweaving that guy. Another sugar snap pea and another cherry tomato that you can still see the damage. This is what the whole plant looked like. So pretty insane. Mums, or marigolds, not mums, meant to say. Other side too. So that is basically, we also, in the front, we have these wildflowers that I don't know what the heck those orange ones are, but they're gorgeous. Irises came up for the first time. And we planted some phlox up here. So those look really pretty. It's beautiful pink phlox. I don't know what this white flower is, but I don't mind it. I think it's super cute. It's a low-lying, so it's nice. We had some yellow irises. Those died back. And my hydrangeas are coming up. So all in all, things are looking up for the garden after a really rough start. I did lose some flowers that I had planted. Most of my flowers, actually. But there are some flowers that they will grow. So these, I believe, are zinnia, 2 zinnias. And I lost, this whole area was ground cherries. Lost all of those. So did not plant any new ones yet of those. And I did lose some of, I had this thing called Cosmic Candy. It was like a vine. Lost that guy too. So, oh my goodness. You know how I said I replanted all of those Wandering Jew seedlings? Look at this girl. She's the one who was just attacking my coleus. Orange, look what you did. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know that they said these things replant easily, but not when you destroy them. Dear Lord. Well, there goes that garden bed. Or that potter. Let's take a look at the babies real quick. Chickens have had, we lost a chicken in the last few weeks. It was sick. I was nursing her and got home a little too late one night and she was taken by a raccoon. So, it's the sad truth of chicken ownership. It's a lot of responsibility. Got some peonies here. And literally, you can be an hour late and miss the most important part. Oh man, those are beautiful. Peonies finally blooming. Of course, I have them staked up, but they're just so heavy. Right, girls? So, the chickens, I'm not sure what the illness was. These are the babies here. Getting so big. They're like bigger than Beardy, honestly. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened, but I have them doing diatomaceous earth in their food and trying to keep them healthy that way. Oh boy. Ducky, what are you squawking about, girl? All of this stuff that you see right by Ducky, that's all mint. It's lemon balm, actually. It's so good. So delicious in tea. I harvest it every year. Or I should say multiple times a year. I just started last year. And it is so good in the winter for tea. Good for the immune system. I only get the ones that the chickens don't go near, but Like, oh, this stuff is just, it's super invasive. So, but I just don't mind that it's growing there because it's in the chicken yard. So, but I grow it separately and it's so good in tea. So if you've ever seen anything like that, that's a mint family and super good. And it smells so good. It's great to keep bugs away. Like you can kind of take a leaf and rub it on your face. Hi, Felissa. She's another girl that was not feeling so well, but hopefully turned a corner in her recovery. All right, guys, I've kept you long enough. That's my update for being out for so long. I've got some banana bread in the oven. I'm gonna go get out some vegan banana bread. Can't wait to try it. So I hope you guys are enjoying this crazy spring, this crazy time as much as possible. I'm trying. But hopefully I'll get back into doing more videos because I really do enjoy doing them. It's great for me to look back on and see what the garden looked like and reflect back. So hopefully you'll see me soon again. And if you want to make sure you subscribe, hit the little like button for me. That's great. I always just like seeing that. All right, guys, have a great day. See you soon.